Thank you so much. Hi, everyone. My name is Hannah Walters. I teach marketing at Northern State University. I'm getting my slideshow here set up. Can everyone see my screen?
Yes.
Wonderful. Um, So I have had the opportunity to teach marketing, but also do marketing. I spent a few years doing high tech marketing, telecommunications, and then also tourism marketing. Of all of those, tourism marketing is just the most fun. But I have really incorporated AI into the class here at Northern. And what I have told my students is that AI is not going to take their job. Someone who knows how to use AI is going to take their job. And so I have really found it very important to teach students how to use it, but also how to use it ethically and responsibly so that it's not just replacing what they bring to the table. So, what I'd like to do is start off with some introductions. I just kind of want to know, and we kind of popcorn around here a little bit in terms of, right, who are you guys? What are your businesses, and how are you using AI now? So, I'm just going to stop sharing my screen so I can see some of your faces here. Would anybody like to share how you are using AI now? So I kind of have a good baseline of where we're at.
I can.
Yeah, please do.
I use AI to help me kind of create some content, to rewrite emails, and that kind of thing.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Thanks, Rachel.
Yeah.
Mackenzie, I just saw you share your video.
Yeah, so I work with Primos. I work on their marketing team there, and oh my gosh, we use it. I can't even like all the things we use it for, but we use Soci, which is our social media management platform. So
Mhm.
we use a lot with making captions. That way we use AI within SEO. We use
Mhm.
AI in um, oh gosh, I use it for like Copilot. We use Copilot, so I use
Yep.
it for
Okay.
when I'm doing some different writing and need some ideas when I'm creating things. So, gosh, I
Great.
feel like 5 years ago I didn't use it. Now I use it for everything, I feel like now. So,
Yeah, exactly. Amanda.
Hi, my name's Amanda Anglin. I'm the executive director of the Sturgis Economic Development
Mhm.
Corporation. We're a nonprofit organization, and I'm getting more into doing marketing for SEDC as well as for our community. So I'm just trying to learn different ways that can help me be more efficient since I'm a one-person show in my job and just get some of that stuff done faster.
Yeah, definitely helps with efficiency, that's for sure. How about you, Grace?
Hi, I'm Grace from the Desmet Development Corporation. Right now, I currently use it just to like kind of clean up, make sure grammatically everything looks okay.
Yep.
But kind of same as Amanda, just being more efficient and then being able to share with business owners if they have questions, being able to give them some tools and resources.
Yeah, fantastic. Anybody else wanting to share or willing to share? Oh, want newsletters, different ideas? Thanks, Sydney. Well, keep those coming in the comments. That's fantastic. We're going to jump right in. Let me hit share screen again here real quick. Um, so here's I'm going to approach AI from a very practical focus. And so I've got some different things that I want to share with you. And I'm not going to encourage you today to go out and try these things as I'm doing them. I'm just going to suggest that kind of you just follow along and watch. I'm happy to provide my PowerPoint and some of the prompt examples so that you can then use those later on. So let's just jump right in here. Okay. So, quick definition when we think about AI, it's just a tool. It is a calculator. The other thing that I also think about when I think about AI is that it's like a helpful intern. It can't do everything by itself. It needs a lot of help and guidance, and you kind of have to check their work sometimes. But it is a tool that can really help you predict, help you personalize, automate, and again, optimize. But it's not perfect. And so it's something that we need to make sure that we are checking to make sure that we're using it the way we want, and it's actually working for us, not against us. So, in terms of AI and why it really helps small businesses, you guys already talked about this, so I'm not going to spend a ton of time here. Really helps you boost that efficiency, right? You can get a lot done in a matter of seconds with AI. Not to say that it still needs some refinement and you might need to check a few things, but right, you can get a lot of work done pretty quickly. The other thing that it does, and a couple of you mentioned this as well, right? It can actually really help you be more creative. I don't want AI to replace your own creativity, but I think it really can supplement and take your creativity to the next level. The other thing that I'm going to show you a couple tools on how to use it in terms of how to use data in AI. And you have to be a little careful there because you don't want to share any information that is confidential or proprietary or personally identifiable information. That's a huge thing in higher ed. So we want to make sure that the information, the data that we're using, again, we want to be careful with that. And then the last piece really is giving small businesses that competitive advantage. When we think about big businesses, you guys are absolutely using AI, and there's a lot of great tools that small businesses can use to really compete with some of those large businesses that have the budgets to go along with them too. Okay, so what are some things that AI can do? Well, we're going to do some brainstorming. We'll do a little bit of content generation. I feel like you all have a pretty good basis on content generation, so we're not going to spend a ton of time there. But I'm a big fan of using AI for audience insights, understanding who your customer is so that you can better serve those customers. And then the last piece, we'll do a little bit of visual creation as well. So let's get into brainstorming first. So when it comes to brainstorming, right, we can generate, different ideas. Someone had mentioned earlier about that SEO keyword ideas. Absolutely, like that would be a great way to use it. You can create different ideas, you can draft things, and then I think one of the most common things that we do with AI right now is rewriting, right? Starting something and then being like, this sounds terrible. Just right, have AI polish it. Whatever tool you're using, whether that's Claude, ChatGPT, whether that's Copilot. I really encourage you to play around and see which tool really makes the most sense for you. In many cases, at least here at Northern in a class, I'll have students use 3 different AI tools and then compare and contrast and see which one did the best. Okay, so I've got some different scenarios. We're going to start off with a scenario where you have developed a healthy breakfast drink for students on the go. Okay, I am going to minimize this here in just a minute because I'm actually going to demonstrate some of these tools. So the first thing we're going to do is we're actually going to brainstorm some product names. And there's a great tool out there. It's completely free. It's called Namelix.com. Namelix.com. So let me minimize this here real quick and head over to, let me get the right screen over here. Okay, so this is Namelix.com. And we want to generate a name for this product. And so we're just going to say we want to create a healthy breakfast drink for students on the go. What else could we prompt this particular name generator with? Do we want to make sure it's high protein? Do we want to make sure it's gluten-free? Why don't you guys throw something out there that is important to you guys when you think about your healthy breakfast drink?
Like, does it need to be refrigerated? Is it easy to mix up or take time to prepare?
So, like an easy mix. What else is important to you guys?
Nutritious.
Protein.
Protein. Let's try that. Oh, what did I miss?
Caffeine, for sure.
Oh, yeah, caffeine. Let's go back to that one.
Sydney says flavorful.
Lots of flavor. We'll start with that for now. I'm just going to hit generate and see what we get. You can start to choose in this next screen here what kind of name style you're looking for. I'm just going to do auto just to see like a whole variety of what we might get. You can also choose in terms of randomness. Let's go with high. Let's like see what we can generate in terms of some different ideas. These are the informations that we have provided that kind of pulled from that very first um, screen. And you can see we've got some low sugar options, some natural ingredients, protein, flavorful. Let's hit generate and see what comes up. And as you can see, it works pretty fast. Some of these ideas are going to be terrible, terrible ideas. Some are going to be great. But it gives you some ideas to work with and to start with. Again, this is a brainstorm, and you can see AI is also giving my ChatGPT a thumbs up there. That's AI right there in action. What are some of the names you guys like here? Just throw some out that you see. I'll kind of try to slowly scroll through some of these. Does anybody see one that catches your eye?
Good sip. I liked that.
Good sip. Let me see if I can find that one. Where did that go? Right here. This the one?
Yep, I think there's one without the S on it too above that. So it was a couple versions.
Oh, yep. Good sip up here. Anybody else got a favorite?
Good sip seems to be the number one.
There we go. Good sip. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. The next step in our PowerPoint that I have for you is to create a logo. And you can see that Namelix kind of starts you off with that. But if you want to generate more ideas just for that one particular product, there's a couple different tools, SoLogo.ai or design.com. So I'm going to go ahead and pull SoLogo up. And we decided on, say it one more time.
Good sip.
Good sip. And that was all one word, right?
Yes.
Perfect. Okay, so let's hit generate. And what this is actually going to do is help us create, go ahead and close this here for a second. It'll help us create a brand name and actually will help us create some different graphic ideas. What are some of the images when you think about graphics that would fit really well when you think of that morning breakfast coffee that or breakfast drink that you would really want to make sure is in this particular brand image? Throw some ideas out there. I'll type them in.
Some kind of a cup, depending on what it, is
Yeah.
it
We need a
a
cup.
tumbler or a coffee cup or
Yeah.
depending on the product.
What else do we need?
A smiling
Carrie
cup or
says-
mug.
Yep.
Carrie said.
A smiley what?
Smiling cup or mug.
Smiling cup or mug. Anything else?
Some sort of health something. I don't know what that is, but
Let's
plant.
just see what it does. We're just
Yeah.
generating some ideas here. So let's see here. This is designed. So we're going to say this is for busy college students in the Midwest. That's where we're at. So I'm going to hit generate. And again, it's going to create some different ideas. Now, as it's generating, I am going to warn you, do not just copy and use these ideas and start from here. What I suggest is when it comes to these ideas, this is a great starting point, but I would then work with a graphic designer to refine the idea and actually create it yourself. But this gives you a great place to start with an idea. But highly, highly encourage you to actually work with a graphic designer to finish, to recreate this right specifically for you. I do not encourage you to copy and paste this. There could be a lot of brand infringement issues if you just copy and paste this. So here are some, and you can see like, what is going on here? We got a sailboat going on. Like they have missed the mark when it comes to this. So I'm just going to hit generate again, and let's just see if we can keep generating different ideas until we actually get to something that we actually might like.
Can you go back and add more content to your
We can,
prompt
absolutely.
too, if that?
You can
Yeah.
see it really thinks like we're talking about like good night or let's just head back because this is not, we've got a cup, a smiling cup. Let's see what we've got over here. We have busy college students. Brand name is Good Sip. Let's think about healthy drink. Let's try that. Maybe it just needs a little bit more help. As you can see, sometimes AI gets it, sometimes it just doesn't.
And Hannah, this is one of the free platforms,
This
right?
is a free tool. It is.
Yeah, both of them, NameLink
Yep.
and yep,
Yep.
okay, perfect.
Both of them are as well. I have one other one, and oh, here we go. It's getting a little. We got
There we
a
go.
beverage over here, but that doesn't look like necessarily a breakfast beverage.
I think you put college student under that, and that's why it came up that way.
That's exactly what happened. So we've got one here. We've got the smiling coffee cup. You can keep generating. Let's see what keeps going on here. It's still working. I'm not quite happy with some of these. The second tool that I had recommended was called design.com. And so we're going to put Good Sip over in this one, just another tool. And this is another tool that you can potentially use. Again, just get lots of good ideas. And you can also in here, again, put those keywords. We'll do the smiling coffee cup. And we want to make sure it's healthy as well. And just do
Harry
some...
also said on the go too.
Oh, yeah, and on the go. Here we go. So as you can see, design.com, we're getting a lot better ideas with this particular tool. I have used Sologo in a variety of different contexts, and it's worked fine. Sometimes you're going to get a mixed bag when it comes to AI ideas. So here's some different ideas. I really like some of these ones. These ones are kind of fun. Okay. So the next tool that I want to share with you, so those were two, namelix.com and then creating the logo. Sologo.ai was not very helpful. Design.com did a better job to kind of give us some different ideas. Where we want to take this next is, okay, could we now actually create some influencer images? I'm not sure if we have any social media influencers here on our Zoom call today. But you can use a tool called ideogram.ai, and I have that one pulled up. We're going to create some influencer images for this new product. So I'm going to pull that one up here. Let me get rid of this guy. Hide floating controls. Okay, so this is Ideogram. And essentially what you can do here is you just describe what you want to see. So we're going to use this tool to create an influencer image. And here we're going to say, we're going to go back to the college student drinking a cup of Good Sip. On their way to class. What else do we want to say? Healthy. What else would we like to prompt to make sure that we kind of get in this idea for this influencer image? The more specific we can be, the more helpful we'll get.
We want the cup to have a straw instead of being a coffee cup.
Cup to have cup with straw. Let's see what it has there. I'm going to say, let's see, drinking cup. Up on the way to class. We already said healthy. I want to say include brand Good Sip. Let's see if it actually does it for us. No guarantees. So it might take a few minutes here, but it's working. You can, with this tool, there is a paid version. I'm just using the free version just to kind of play around with it. I'm not a social media influencer by any means. So let me view in creations here. Here are some of our images, and you can see it kind of got our Good Sip a little bit close, not quite right, but it gives us some ideas of what types of images we could potentially use. I'm going to warn you, you can upload your photo in this tool, so then it can actually help place you in a different situation. That's helpful if, say, on a day like today, you don't necessarily want to head outside and do a photo shoot, right? You can use this tool. However, once you can see this is mine. I had uploaded my image here as well. So you can see here I'm drinking the healthy green drink. Looks like while I'm grading some papers here. Um, I just want to put a quick word of caution in here. If you upload an image, be sure you have that person's permission to do so. Because here's what can happen is if Robin decides that she wants to find an image of a middle-aged woman, I might end up appearing in her ad or in her image because now I have given my photo and my permission to use that photo in this particular app. So be careful with the photos that you upload because then they are available to use. You're now in the database. And so I would never upload a photo of someone without their permission. Okay. So that's ideogram. Again, I think there's some places that you could use this. I still like it more from a brainstorming perspective. I don't know that I would just copy and paste this photo straight into Facebook or Instagram. I don't think that's a great idea, but it can give you some ideas of how you could potentially, plan some of these photos for your social media. So again, it can give you a ton of different ideas. Again, just brainstorming of how you might do that. Okay. So let's head back. I've got a few other things here to show you. And then the last piece is, okay, so now we have a name, we have a brand, we started thinking about influencer images. Now we can also start thinking about, right, how do we use AI to create social media posts? And this is where I think most of you are all very comfortable using chat or Copilot to help you write some of those posts. So I don't think that's going to be a good use of our time today. So we're going to go ahead and move on. The next scenario that I have here for you is we're going to use some data to help us make some decisions when it comes from a marketing perspective. So the scenario that I have here for you is that you have developed a health app. And what I'd like us to do is we're actually going to use some open-ended responses to help identify different customer segments. I am a member of our local YMCA here, and I can tell you there is a whole variety of people that show up at that YMCA, all different age groups, all different sorts of benefits that people are seeking when it comes to exercise or socializing. And so they appeal to a wide range of Aberdonians. And so I think it's really helpful to understand how do we use data to better understand our different customer segments. Okay. And so if you have any open-ended responses in terms of like customer feedback, in terms of right why they might choose, Primrose over another, senior center. If you have any data, you can absolutely use it to better understand who your customers are, so you can then turn around and better serve those. So here's what we're going to do is I'm going to use chat. I have a paid version of chat. You could also use Copilot or another version as well. It's completely up to you, but I'm going to use chat just for the sake of this. And here's what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to ask chat to identify 3 distinct customer segments based off of the data that I already have. So let me head over to chat. I already have it pulled up here. I'm going to paste this here. And you can see I'm asking chat to identify 3 distinct customer segments based on the attached Excel file. Let me show you that Excel file here just real quick. We're going to go to the health app data set. Let me pull it over here so you guys can see it. And here's what I've done. I'm not oversharing with chat. I've only pulling the information that I actually wanted to analyze. So I would not put in an entire data set of tons of personal identifying information into chat. I just wouldn't do it. They say, right, that with paid versions, your information is not going to be used. I would still remain a little skeptical there, and really only share the data that you're comfortable with and that you actually are asking it to use. So in this particular data set, you can see that the responses are essentially right in terms of how they're using their health app. I have an Apple Watch, my little ring. I pay attention to what happens with my activity ring, and it reminds me to stand up every once in a while. And so this is a response to right, how they're using their app, and they're staying motivated by sharing their results with their friends. So you can see some of the data that I'm getting here. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do is let me go back to chat, and I'm going to attach the Excel file. In a paid version of chat, you can upload files. In a free version, you may have only so many opportunities to upload, and then you'll hit your max and you have to pay for the free version. You could also kind of copy and paste some of that right into the prompt window here. Since I have the paid version, I'm just going to upload the whole thing. So let me go ahead and upload my file. And I'm going to go straight to my small business development folder. We're going to go to the health data set. Yes, I know it's in use. Let me close it quick. There we go. Let's try it again. So I'm uploading it. You can see it'll take just a minute. And I'm going to ask it to identify 3 distinct customer segments. I know different people are motivated in different ways and use their apps differently to motivate themselves for exercise. So let's see what chat has to say. So it's analyzing the data. You can see here that it's thinking, and it might take a couple minutes. But here are 3 customer segments based off of these responses. We've got the data-driven self-trackers. So this is going to be a group of people that use the app to measure their behavior. They're looking at their dashboard. They're looking at those numbers. They want to see that ring. They want to see their number of steps specifically that day. So they're data-driven self-trackers. Then we've got segment number 2, and this is the socially motivated achievers. And when you think about exercise, these are the people who want to be around other people while they're doing it. That's very motivating to them. They want to compete. They want to, again, just kind of have those shared goals. I know on my Apple Watch, my 2 sisters, we can kind of see how active we are being in a given day. And sometimes we'll text each other and give each other a hard time. We call that motivation or inspiration. So that's group number 2, that's socially motivated. And then here's group number 3. This is the holistic wellness. And this is a group of people that are kind of combining mental health with their physical health. And so you can see that they're really combining that physical activity with journaling, mindfulness, habit building. And here's the thing, if you're speaking to customers all the same way, they might not feel heard. They might not feel seen because you're talking to them in a complete other language that doesn't resonate with them individually. Okay. So these are 3 segments that you could very quickly say, okay, now I understand based off of the data that I have from my customers of kind of some of these open-ended responses of what they've told me. Right, I now know how to speak their language. I know what's important to my major 3 groups. Okay. Here's the thing though, is you can even get more granular. And this is where you actually even break it up even further. I think 3 is pretty broad, in my opinion, when you think about the number of different customer segments that are attending the YMCA in Aberdeen. Just as an example, I think you can get much more specific. And so when you start thinking about who you're targeting and how you might personalize your marketing efforts so that your specific customers feel seen, they feel heard, they feel understood, they feel like you understand their needs and wants, this is really how granular you want to get. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to just copy this prompt. I am going to ask chat to break these 3 segments. And you can see, gosh, it even did more here. I haven't even scrolled all the way down. It started looking at core motivation and behaviors. And hey, if you're developing this app, you might want to consider some of these other things. Lots of great information here. But I'm going to ask it to break these segments into even more segments, possibly 9 to 10. I know that seems very, very granular. Let's see what we get. While it's thinking, does anyone have any questions?
I did see one question in the chat and it asked, how do you respond to an older audience that doesn't want another app on their phone?
Are you talking about the health app or are you talking about like AI?
I think I think AI, but I could be wrong. Feel free to
Well,
speak up if I'm wrong.
well, if we're talking about, AI on your phone, you don't need AI on your phone. It's actually already there, by the way. But you don't have to have, chats app on your phone. You can leave it right on your computer at work. Um, and I mean, it's really up to you in terms of right where you want to use it and where you don't want to use it. I've used it. I have it on my phone, and I've used it for some personal things. I tend to do more of my work-related things on my laptop, not necessarily on my phone. And so, yeah, that's what I recommend when it comes to AI. You don't have to have it on your phone, but I will say it's already there. Okay, so here are some of the segments. These are nano segments, so these even get more granular. And so you can see, and I love the names it comes up with. I think it's just fun when you think about kind of getting a little bit more specific. So from the data-driven trackers group, it looks like it identified 4 smaller groups. So you've got the metric maximizers, right? Again, they're checking those metrics multiple times per day. You've got the goal-driven grinders. Again, they're really focusing on those routines, those hitting targets. Oh, I see it, the closing rings. I've just kind of identified myself there. The health condition, again, this is thinking about using those markers in terms of like medical. So you might be able to check your heart rate or, things like that using an app like this. The productivity biohacker. So again, thinking about right how you might use it to track your sleep, your activity, how productive, your, deep work mode, all of those things. When you get into the socially motivated achievers, starts breaking it down in terms of the friendly competitors, the accountability partners, and then also the group inspiration. The way we're going to speak and target and personalize our communications to these groups of people will look a little bit different based off of right some of the behavior that they're exhibiting, but also some of the things that they might need as well. And you can see it keeps going down. It also breaks down the holistic wellness seekers as well. Creates kind of a quick reference table. Again, thinking about what are some of those core motivations. How can you identify some of these people, some of that distinguishing behavior that can really help you see right, which group you're actually talking to based off of their actual behavior. Okay, so again, gives you an opportunity to personalize and better serve your customer because you're demonstrating that you have a better understanding of your customer than hopefully your competitors. Okay. And I think that's what small businesses are really good at, right? Small businesses know who their customers are. And if we can supplement that with basing it off of data, right, you are more apt to even make better decisions on behalf of your customers. Okay. Now what we want to do is I actually want to ask chat again, just for some ideas. I don't think all of them are going to be good, but I'm actually going to say, okay, now I want you to recommend some marketing strategies. We've identified all of these 10. That is a lot of work. What am I going to do with all of this? I'm going to ask chat to recommend some marketing strategies for each of these segments. So let me head over here. I'm just going to paste it right in. Recommend marketing strategies tailored to each segment. So you can see here, it's going to recommend some specific messaging, some themes, some content types, even what types of offers. So we'll just start with the metric maximizers. And you can see here, really focusing on those dashboards, doing some before and afters. Within your app, you actually create some different reports or customizable graphs. If we scroll down, you can kind of look at some of these others where if your specific group is really more focused on their health condition, right, you might point to some, PDF reports. You might offer webinars or case studies about tracking some of this information as well. let's scroll down to those friendly competitors. This is some of those social groups. And you can see messaging here, challenge accepted, compete, win, repeat. You know what? That might be a little bit cheesy and you might not like that. But if that's a specific group that you really want to focus on, right, you can dive in deeper to that specific one. You don't just take these and copy paste. Really customize and make them your own. So again, different ideas in terms of, well, what does it look like to really target all of these different audiences, better. Gives you some ideas on how you might do that. Okay, so lots of great data here. You can see again, it'll even help you kind of build that out even further. Okay. Any questions on that? Using it for data to help make better marketing decisions based off of data. I'm going to encourage you as well. You can also do this. We've scraped Amazon or Google reviews or Yelp reviews. In class, we've grabbed all of that data from product reviews or business reviews, and we've actually analyzed that as well. So you can grab this data from wherever. Again, I just recommend that you don't put anything confidential, proprietary, personally identifiable information. Only give AI what you really need to give AI. Do not overshare, your data with AI. Okay, so I do want to chat a little bit about creating and designing. Several of you had mentioned that as well. Couple tools that I recommend when it comes to AI and just design in general. Canva's a great tool. Most people are familiar with Canva these days. That's a great tool. Another one that's really kind of on the forefront of using AI is called Adobe Express. So you can use some great tools there. I do have some links to these. Let me just open both of these here real quick, see if we can show you. Essentially, when you subscribe to Canva AI, you basically, again, right, this is make me an Instagram post, help me, create a poster, right? You can do a lot by just telling it what you want. It takes a lot of revision, a lot of kind of going back and forth, but you don't have to be a graphic designer. Canva's pretty great. The other tool is Adobe Express. This is another tool that is using AI as well. And again, very quick to create. So if you kind of hover over, they have an AI assistant that, again, you can utilize by not having to be a graphic designer. So again, you can do more with less and help that creativity and efficiency as well.
Hannah, when you use that graphic design assistant through Canva, are you giving it just a verbal prompt of create me a Facebook post?
You can do both. So what you can do with Canva is you can upload a picture. You can say, like, I specifically want, a book. I specifically want a coffee. Like, you can describe what you're looking for, but you can also give it information as well. So if you have a specific image or your brand or your logo, you absolutely can insert that in there too. Yeah.
There is another question in the chat about do you need Adobe Suite for the Adobe Express?
That's a good question. Let me head back over to the website here. I have the full Adobe Suite. Let me look here. If you go, I think you can just get Adobe Express. That is a great question, though.
You can just get Adobe Express and not have
Thank you, Lisa.
Yep.
I have the full suite, so that was probably not a good question because I have the entire thing. So, okay, let's head back over here. So again, as we think about graphics, as we think about different variations, I really like this kind of tool to say, like, show it to me in every color. Or if I've narrowed it down on a specific color, show me every shade of pink, right? Like, because I might like one shade better than the other. I mean, it's just little things like that that just save you so much time. When it comes to actually logo design and some graphics like that, I actually really like starting with just black and white there and then working on color after you've just kind of settled in on your overall design. The other thing you can do, and this is where I was talking about AI on your phone, is you can enhance the images that you already have. And so you can remove backgrounds, you can remove objects and people that are standing behind you at Disney World, right? I've deleted, bags and other things that were like on the ground at our feet in a family photo once. So there's a lot you can do there. And so yes, AI is already on your phone. Okay, I want to make sure we have time for questions. So I'm going to keep going here. Okay, I've got one more scenario that I want to share with you. All businesses are going to have situations where a customer's going to complain. Managing your reputation is a very, very important part of business. And so I'm going to use the example of Cracker Barrel. Do you guys remember this summer when they changed their logo and like people were all upset? And I was like, what's the big deal? Who cares? People cared. People cared a lot. If you happen to go out to Reddit and you actually search Cracker Barrel logo change, people were very upset. Okay. So here's what I did. I scraped that data from Reddit, and I said, you know what? Help me if I'm managing Cracker Barrel's marketing and PR, and I need to manage that reputation, and I need to respond, or I need to prepare my CEO for an apology. I want to make sure that I'm hitting on the right things that are actually important, right, to our constituents. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to use AI for sentiment analysis. This is one of my favorite things to do with AI, and specifically, I like chat for this particular one. So I have some data here. Let me pull it over here for you. So this is a spreadsheet of some responses about Cracker Barrel's logo change. Some people liked it, some people didn't. I mean, it was just all over the board. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to minimize that here. I'm going to ask, oh, let me head back here. I am going to ask AI to conduct topic clustering so that we can categorize those complaints and those media mentions, because when they're mentioned, we want to make sure that we're responding. Like if we're a hotel and people are reviewing our hotel on TripAdvisor, we need to know, like we need to make sure we can respond accordingly. If they're coming to our cities, if they're coming to Sturgis, if they're coming to Rapid City, we need to make sure that we're responding and understanding, right, how people feel about our business, our place, right, whatever we happen to be offering. Okay, so let me head back over to chat. And I am going to ask chat to conduct topic clustering. And I want to make sure that we base it off of a new spreadsheet. Otherwise, based on the attached spreadsheet, conduct. Okay, so I'm going to attach a new file because we've moved on from the health app here. I'm going to attach a file that I just showed you. Go to small business. We're going to go to Cracker Barrel. It's going to upload. Again, you can do this for product reviews, business reviews. When people start complaining on Facebook. Here in Aberdeen, we have Aberdeen Online like rants and raves, right? You can scrape all of that data and really be able to analyze, okay, what are people actually saying so I know how to respond? And of course, this is live, so it needs to take a little bit. Here we go. So it's identified 5 topic clusters. You guys, this has saved me so much time in terms of having to read through all of those complaints. I can get a quick, broad overview of, okay, what's going on? What do people like or dislike about our particular logo change? So cluster number 1, right? This is not my Cracker Barrel anymore. They feel like they have lost that brand identity. Cluster number 2, they're missing that icon. Where's the barrel? Cluster number 3, it's woke corporate makeover backlash. Cluster number 4 is, hey, actually, they like it. It's a modern look. It's clean. It's simple. It's readable. This is proof you can never make everyone happy. Okay. Cluster number 5 is, why is this even a big deal? That would be my cluster. I fall into that one. I don't understand what the big deal is here, but I'm also not a huge fan of um, uh, Cracker Barrel. We just don't have one here in Aberdeen, so it's just not us. So as you can see, it identifies 5 clusters, it names them, kind of gives us those core themes. So again, helps us understand like what's actually going on, what are people actually complaining about, or what are they saying? So there's a next step that I really want to take you, and this is really where, okay, what do I do with this? Right now that I know kind of these clusters or these kind of main topics of these reviews, now I need to respond. I either need to respond on Facebook, I need to respond on Instagram, my CEO or my manager, right? Or I need to like speak up and say something on behalf of, right? Why did we actually make this? So I'm going to ask Chat. Let me just grab this prompt real quick. I am going to ask it to create tailored recommendations in terms of a response plan, defining those personas so that I understand how to speak to different groups, create an apology statement. If I need to apologize to someone, I want to make sure that I'm apologizing for something that they actually care about versus, right, everything else that's going on in terms of the peripheral. Okay. So as you can see, it starts going through. We've got, and again, it's still basing it off of those clusters that it identified right before, because this is based off of data. So you can see here this, traditional loyalists. This was that not my Cracker Barrel anymore. They really care about that brand nostalgia. They care about that authenticity. And as you scroll down, you can it's keeping work. It's going to work. Key message. What's the apology statement? We sincerely apologize to our long-term guests who feel the new design doesn't reflect the Cracker Barrel. Our intention was never to move away from our roots. It speaks to what is meaningful to them, right? In terms of what they care about. And so you can see that it might help you craft a response that really speaks to their specific complaint or what they're having an issue with. I'm not going to read all of this. I want to make sure we have some time for questions here. Okay, we're getting close. So last couple things, like literally I only have 2 things here for you. Last couple things, encourage you to always edit AI generated content. Do not copy and paste blindly. That comes whether it's these apology statements. Do not copy and paste the apology statement right into social media. Not a good idea. Edit. Make sure it comes from your voice. Make sure you've proofread it. I get a lot of things where I can clearly tell it has been copied and pasted. Same thing with, content, photos, video, like all of that. Make sure that you're editing it. So while Namelix is cool, design.com was cool, even the ideogram, the influencer images, right? Make sure you're editing those so it's your content, but that the brainstorming came from AI. I've already mentioned this several times, keeping your customer data private. Don't put in those sensitive details. Once it's out there, it's out there. You can't pull it back. So I really, really encourage you to be careful about what you post there. Check for accuracy. AI will hallucinate. It will get stats wrong. It will get claims wrong. Make sure you fact check. Check those links. Check the references that it's pulling from, because they they might not actually exist. Last couple things, use AI to enhance your creativity, not replace it. Don't go straight to AI to get all of the ideas. When you think about the apology statements, when you think about what people are complaining about, I really encourage you to you think through it first and then help validate it and like second check it with, or like cross-reference it with AI. Don't just take it blindly, right? Again, think about AI as a helpful intern, right? It's someone that can help you, but it doesn't necessarily replace you. And then the last recommendation I have here for you is just adding disclosure where appropriate. If you're using AI and images, make sure that you identify and disclose when you're using AI, if that's appropriate. Okay. And then the last thing I have here is just a quick thank you slide. I just want to say thank you for coming today and spending the last 52 minutes with me. I am going to stop sharing my screen so that I can see all of your faces. I just want to also share with you, I had the opportunity last fall to work on a book. I did not write this entire thing, but I worked with 17 authors from around the world to put together this book. It's called AI and Marketing, Applications, Insights, and Analysis. I'm going to be honest with you, it's very much kind of a textbook. This is what we use at Northern to prepare our marketing students in terms of how to use AI in the real world. Because again, my stance is that AI is not going to take your job. Someone who knows how to use AI is going to take your job. And so it's very important that we know how to use it ethically, responsibly, intentionally, and so that it assists us as a tool but doesn't replace us. Any questions?
Is that
I
book
can talk really
available?
fast.
Oh, sorry. Is that book available to purchase?
It is, yeah. It's out on Amazon as well.
Okay.
And I was just going to ask about the last exercise you showed with all the comments and
Yeah.
putting in those comments and having them segmented. Does it give you a sense of like the volume of comments in each group? So like maybe there was 5 different distincts, but the top 2 had 90% of the responses.
Yeah. It absolutely can. You just ask chat to tabulate that.
Okay.
Yep, it can count up all of those negative responses. It can count. You just need to ask it to do that.
Okay.
Yeah, because you're absolutely right. You may only get a few, in one category, so you may really want to focus in on another area. So that's a great question to ask.
Is it the vocal minority that's complaining? Or?
Yeah, right. So I think there was a
There is
question.
another. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I just saw the chat pop up. It's called AI and Marketing, Applications, Insights, and Analysis. I'd be happy to share the link to the Amazon page. It's also out on Rootledge's website. I can provide the link to Olivia if she wants to share that out.
And Hannah, a real quick question for you. Do you have students that are specifically working on degrees, or is there a degree program yet for AI? Or do you have them that are focusing on AI?
Yeah, that's a great question. We do not have a degree specifically in AI. In marketing, I don't even have a course specifically in AI, and I've actually done that on purpose because I think it's like the calculator, right? It's going to be embedded in every single course in marketing for sure. It's not going to be a separate course because whether you are doing integrated marketing communications or you're in consumer behavior, you're going to need to know how to use AI. So what we've done is we've incorporated AI components in every single class. So if you're in international marketing, we're going to be talking about how to use AI in international marketing. Yeah, great question. We do a lot. We do have a course, and we're working on a program in terms of analytics. But within marketing, our focus is more broad across AI, across the market.
And so in that analytics part of the AI, do you have any students that look for maybe an internship or some type of project that, would pay them a little something? Do you have students like that?
Yeah, absolutely. So students can complete an internship where they can actually do projects for businesses. I also will include in my classes, in marketing classes, where they'll actually put together marketing plans, marketing ideas, depending on what it is, what class it is, where they actually will work for a real client.
Wonderful.